So what's your take in general on creating offers?
An offer is an offering that you are giving to somebody, not necessarily on a special occasion.
And today's topic is just about this. How to create an offer. So I often say that every business in this world is about selling convenience,
Right? Probably the person who is seeing this video, maybe they are in a job or they are in a freelance thing, and maybe they are an agency owner doing like offline work in their local community, and they see some reel online and they feel like, okay, hey, we can make money online as well.
Everybody wants to change something in their life, and to change that, if they're getting help from someone, or if you are the person who can help someone to change something, you have the right to charge them.
People would not go to dentist because they have got ChatGPT. Bullshit, that won't happen.
Yeah.
People would not go to a gym or a fitness trainer because ChatGPT is here, they can create the diet plans for you. Bullshit again. So same way, for solving that specific problem in your business, in my case, like in my customer's case, like transitioning to create an online business, and in your case, to scaling that business to a certain level, from that certain level, they require us. They require our expertise. They require our systems that we have created.
Have you ever wondered why some people pay lakhs and lakhs of rupees online to someone, to a stranger, to a complete stranger, or sometimes even thousands of dollars to a person who they don't even know who they are, right? And for a product that does not physically exist, just for an offer or just for some Google document and with non-tangible digital deliverables. How does it even happen? And today's topic is just about this. How to create an offer, or how to sell something online for something that is so valuable, for which people will pay you thousands and thousands of dollars or lakhs and lakhs of rupees if you're from a country like India, right? So this is Prathamesh sitting with me today and leading this valuable discussion with me.
Hey.
Prathamesh, hey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, so my name is Prathamesh and I'm a digital products coach. I'm from Nagpur, Maharashtra, India. And what I do is basically help people who are freelancing or who are into a job to create their own digital products and digital assets so that they can start monetizing their ideas online. And along with me, we have Nihar. And he's going to be introducing himself and what he does exactly.
Hello everybody, my name is Nihar and we are sitting in a cafe here in Nagpur. I'm a client acquisition consultant and specifically helping people to sell online, get clients online and scale their businesses. Prathamesh, let's start this conversation from, okay, so what's your take in general on creating offers?
Yeah, so whenever you hear the word offer, the most average answer and the most common answer that anybody hears is an offer is like what? A discount, like running a discount on Diwali or Holi or whatever. But that's not actually what an offer is. If you try to break it down, if you try to understand it, an offer is an offering that you are giving to somebody, not necessarily on a special occasion, right? So you are creating something, that's your product, but what you are giving them is an offer, right? And that's like a distinguishing factor between the product that we are giving and the promise that we are giving them, which is the actual offer. And actually you shared this perspective with me, I think an year ago when I was teaching people how to shoot pictures of food, right? Back then when I was doing food photography coaching. So yeah, that's the difference what I see. And the concept about offer is more than that. And tell me, Nihar, what is your perspective on this topic?
Okay, I personally feel that everything in this world is driven by the desire for change. Everybody wants to change something in their life. And to change that, if they're getting help from someone, or if you are the person who can help someone to change something, you have the right to charge them. And how you present the offer to change something in their life is called an offer, right? As the name suggests. And you can decide on the basis of the magnitude of change that you can bring in their life, you can decide how much you want to charge. And a lot of people they think that the price of the offer is decided on the basis of, okay, how much efforts you have to put in order to bring in that change for that client. But it cannot be further away from the truth, right? The pricing is totally decided by the magnitude of change that you can bring in, right? What do you think about this?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever some people even get started with an online business like coaching, consulting, digital products, done for you service, all of that, right? It's a big world out there. When you hear, right, probably the person who is seeing this video, maybe they are in a job or they are in a freelance thing, and maybe they are an agency owner doing like offline work in their local community, and they see some reel online and they feel like, okay, hey, we can make money online as well. So they go in that rabbit hole, and everybody just, starts that way. You started it that way. I started it that way.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. But the point that you were trying to address, which is about the pricing strategy, on how to actually think about the price tag of whatever you are giving to the other person. You shared a wonderful idea, right? You said it's not actually dependent on the effort that's put in to bring that change, and that fits very wonderfully in the opposite notion of this society, because society says that, hey, you can just work hard and you can make more money.
Correct.
Right? But it's not really that the case, right? Efforts and hard work is not really directly corresponding to the amount of income.
I mean that is a factor involved for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Up till one point.
Yeah.
And after that, it's impossible for you to just work hard alone.
Correct.
And make more money.
It's always, see guys, it's always a balance between impact and so profit and scale, right? So basically, the magnitude of change that you can bring in for one person, and the number of people that you can bring that change for, right? So both of these things are involved. Correct. If you focus too much on providing a lot of services to one single person, I think you would be able to bring a big change in their life.
Yeah.
But you cannot do that with a lot of people, like thousands, and the impact will not be very high.
Correct.
Because now you have built an unscalable business for yourself.
Right.
So I think that is the place of efforts when we are creating an offer, right? Actually, it's a very brilliant concept. I want to make a dedicated YouTube video on this. I mean, this was not planned at all, right? So I often say that business is all about selling convenience. Every business in this world is about selling convenience, right? Right from the water bottle that you're buying from a shop, buying a MacBook or a laptop, everything is about making things convenience, right? So from a business owner's perspective, you have to think about two things whenever you're deciding what to sell. The first is the change, the magnitude of change that you are bringing through that product. And second, your efforts involved in order to bring that change for your client.
Yeah, because that determines the scalability aspect of your offer.
Exactly. So the first one, which is the magnitude of change that you can bring in, decides how much profits you can make.
Correct.
The second one, which is the efforts that you have to put in to bring that change, it decides the scalability or the scale of your business, right? And that's why, hence the name of my my company, Profit and Scale.
Yeah.
Because those are the only two things that we need to focus on when we are deciding, okay, the business model, whatever business decisions we are making.
Right. Correct.
What do you think about this?
Yeah. When you actually broken down the name that you have of your company, the Profit and Scale, it reminds me of MJ DeMarco.
Okay.
And his book, The Millionaire Fast Lane.
Yeah.
And I'm butchering this whole thing, and I'm going to probably paraphrase this thing, but he said something on the similar lines of having enough magnitude of the change times the units that can be sold, right? So the people that can be influenced with the change that you are giving, right? And that's really wonderful. And even I do believe, like I share it in my content, what I believe is business is all about change, and business is all about getting somebody to make a change from point A to point B, and that difference of point A to point B is the product, is the service, and that's what you are charging for. And definitely there are different ways of getting from point A to point B, and in the traditional sense there are like three aspects, especially in the service based sort of online business, which is do it yourself, done with you, and done for you. So from point A to point B there are like three levels of doing that. And I think that's the topic that we were supposed to discuss about. In traditional sense, these are just the things that anybody has when they decide of creating an offer, creating different kinds of offers. They think they should have just a DIY offer, then a done with you offer, and then a done for you offer at different price levels.
Yeah, I think that's something that we wanted to discuss about, right?
Right.
So I think it's directly related to what we just discussed, which is the efforts involved in order to bring in that change. I mean, really, it's all about leverage, as Naval Ravikant keeps on saying, right? Keeps on saying, right?
Yeah.
The less inputs that you can put in, how should I put it? Like, leverage is basically minimizing your inputs and maximizing your outputs. So just doing those things, which helps you minimizing your outputs and maximizing the outputs. Really, when we talk about DIY, do it yourself, done with you or done for you, given that do it yourself requires least of your efforts, okay, as a business owner, and done for you requires the most of your efforts and least from your clients, okay?
Correct.
Well, in this case, the maximum leverage, you can get the maximum leverage from DIY if in itself it is sufficient to bring in the same amount of change, right? Which is how it achieves maximum scalability, right? And you would be unstoppable. But let's be real, in the real world, it's pretty difficult to bring in a big change just using a DIY product, you know?
Like a course or a template.
Like a course or a template, you know? Or a series of videos or tutorials, right? And you must have found yourself, you know, watching hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos or YouTube tutorials and getting nowhere in life, you know, not solving a single problem in life. Because DIY in itself is, at this point of time, it's not able to bring in that change. Another form of DIY which is currently trending is AI. What's your take on this? Like, there are a lot of people who reach out to me and they say that, okay, everything can be done using AI these days. So I have this copywriting module and a lot of things, like what I do in my product, a lot of things just revolve around messaging, copywriting, offer creation. And in today's day and age, you can just literally download Alex Hormozi's book from the internet and feed it to Claude or ChatGPT and ask it to create your offers. So this is the biggest objection that we are getting these days. What do you think about this? How would you you know, like, what do you think about this? Like, just give me your random thoughts, raw thoughts.
Yeah, whenever somebody is like, okay, like, why would I need your digital product or your coaching when I have like this AI chatbot along with us? My answer is definitely you can use it if you have that experience and that skill set to actually use AI in the right sense. But most people don't, right? Let's agree. Most people don't have the right idea or the skills or a perspective of looking at things to use the AI in their favor to get the output that they want, right? And that's the biggest flaw of using AI or not being using AI.
Yeah. What I feel is fundamentals never change. The earth will keep on revolving for a long time around the sun. The fundamentals, the bottom line is the first principles never change.
Correct.
So even the technology keeps on evolving. The technology keeps on evolving every day. There are better ways to do the same things, and new techniques and new technology keeps on coming in. And AI is a very, very good example of this, you know, new form of technology. Okay, the biggest fundamental here is the AI is still feeding you information only, like the output that it gives you, the responses that ChatGPT gives you. That's still an output. That's still an information, a piece of information.
From the limited pool of data that it has got the information from.
Exactly, right? So I like to call AI like just a summarizer, a brilliant summarizer, you know? So you feed in a lot of data and it summarizes that data for you and gives you some output.
Right.
But it's still a piece of information. And a piece of information was still available 100 years ago through books, you know? Through newspapers or through magazines, I don't know. So information was still available 100 years ago, but there were still people who were not able to figure out how to use that information and solve real world problems in their life. And it is still happening with AI. AI is still a tool which will give you information, maybe in a much easier manner or a more efficient manner, but it's still giving you information which you don't know how to utilize and how to solve problems using that. So I don't really think the world is going to change just because there's AI now.
Yeah.
AI is just a tool, and it will still need an operator. Of course, whether you are trained to utilize that AI to solve real world problems or not, it matters, you know. Um,
Right.
so I think we can evolve our existing products using AI, right? But we don't really have to like abandon all these courses. I mean, the courses or consultancy or digital products, for that matter, are not going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, I recently saw a reel by my mentor who was just talking about this topic. Like, people would not go to dentist because they have got ChatGPT. Bullshit. That won't happen.
Yeah.
People would not go to a gym or a to a fitness trainer because ChatGPT is here. They can create the diet plans for you. Bullshit again. So same way, for solving that specific problem in your business, for in my case, like in my customer's case, like transitioning to create an online business, and in your case, to scaling that business to a certain level, from that certain level, they require us, they require our expertise, they require our systems that we have created. And right, AI is not just going to replace us. Yeah, but the point that we wanted to talk about and we wanted to actually share it with the world is this three core ideas of DIY, DWY, and DFY, and the general idea that people have of thinking about creating different offers for their online business, their coaching, consulting, online business. In terms of this, why do you think it's such a flawed idea?
But who told you it's a flawed idea? I mean, I think that's a statement. Like, where did you hear it from? Because at the end, it's a decision, and if it's already a decision, we cannot change it. So I think we should go back one step, and like I said, I'm a big believer in first principles, and you shouldn't just hear someone's opinion and just form your beliefs on top of that. You can't do that. So it is not at all a flawed structure. I think it's just a way of classifying the levels of efforts that you're going to put in. Even with a DIY product or a do-it-yourself product, like a template or a script or something like that, you still are putting your efforts in, because you are putting in your money, your time in proving that that stuff works, that resource works.
Right.
So you're still putting in a lot of your time.
Right.
You're still putting in a lot of your resources, your money. And the best part, for the customer, you are eliminating those efforts.
Correct.
Right?
Of figuring out
all by themselves.
Right.
So it is not flawed at all. This classification is just to make it easier for us to define the core deliverables of the offer,
right,
and manage the scalability, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense. And
was that your question?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to understand. A couple of weeks ago, you were just sharing maybe with your clients as well, and we had a discussion over a cup of coffee about this exact topic, on what's your approach of structuring an offer, components, offer deliverables, with breaking it down, and at every single level giving different kind of components, right? So let's say level 1, 2, and 3, if your business consists of that.
Okay.
How can you break it down and at every level have a combination of all, right? So at level 1 you can have a DIY plus a DWY plus a DFY, and maybe level 3 can be just completely a course by itself, like a DIY. Maybe the level 2 can be done with you and done for you. How do you approach this whole topic? That's what I wanted to understand.
So you're asking about how to have multiple offers?
Correct.
In general?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so first principles, whatever you're creating, whatever offer you're creating it to solve a problem or to bring in a change for the client or for the customer. There's a term that I call as value vehicle.
Value vehicle.
Right? Your offer is your value vehicle. Okay?
Right.
Now, break this term into two parts, which is value and vehicle. Right? Now, to bring in that change, you provide some value. But to deliver that value,
you require a vehicle.
You require a vehicle. You use a vehicle.
Correct.
Right? Now, you have to balance both of these things on each level. Right? So when it comes to having multiple products, it could be about solving different problems or different bringing in different kinds of change. So look at it from an e-commerce perspective. Maybe one company can be selling a t-shirt and a shirt together,
Right.
okay, or a t-shirt or shoes together, right? Now a t-shirt brings in a different change, right? Shoes, a pair of shoes, it brings in a different change,
Right.
right? The mode of delivery or the vehicle in both of these cases is same, right? Which is variables,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Correct.
It's variables, right?
Correct.
So in both of these cases, the vehicle is exactly the same,
Yeah.
right? But if we compare it with a hairstylist, now the change might be a bit similar because now again it's related to the looks,
Yeah.
but the vehicle is different,
Yeah.
which is okay. Someone has to do that,
Right.
do the job for you.
Right. So it's
Right.
like an experience or a service that we are bringing, like in
Exactly.
the case of hairstylist,
Exactly.
to get to that outcome, which is like look good.
Exactly. Now in all of these three examples, the shoes, the t-shirt, and the hairstyle, the change was sort of similar, looking good,
Yeah.
right? But
For
the
a normal
mode
day.
of delivery, for a normal, yeah, of course. But the mode of delivery was completely different for all three of these.
Correct.
So when it comes to deciding what to do, just maintain a balance between value and vehicle, and you can design it according to whether you want to create it like sort of a funnel that leads somewhere to the main product, or you can have a sort of ecosystem of products all independent from each other, and you can keep on selling all of these, usually like Maria does, right? Maria went.
Yeah. So it's
Like she
either
does.
like an upsell, like a vertical thing,
Yeah.
or just completely horizontal.
Completely horizontal,
Right.
right?
Got it.
And even in completely horizontal, you can still have ways to retain customers and keep making them buy more and more things from you.
Right.
Okay. For example, like how Apple does. The moment you get an iPhone,
Yeah.
they lock you into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, of course, right? No
Yeah.
one forces you, but you yourself know that you will still prefer buying an AirPods compared to any random Sony headphone,
Correct.
right? Because now you want that ecosystem,
Right.
right? So it's not
Right.
necessarily an upsell
Yeah.
for Apple. It's not an upsell. It's horizontal organization of all the products and offers that they have, right?
Correct. Correct.
And they still keep on making more and more money. So their growth rate is stagnating.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure whether you know this about or not about Apple,
Mm-hmm.
but their growth year on year it's stagnating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but when it comes to the revenue, it's still increasing rapidly.
Yeah.
Right. So the sales are stagnating,
Yeah.
but the revenue growth is exponentially increasing every day, year on year,
Right.
every year, right? And this is happening not because they're selling more and more, but because they are selling to the same people more and more,
More and yeah.
right?
Makes sense.
So I often share this analogy with my clients. I'm not sure whether we talked about this or not. Have you watched Shark Tank?
No.
Okay. You didn't watch a single episode of Shark. Okay,
Not
never
at
mind.
all.
So when the investors ask the pitchers about, what is the total market size, right? You must have heard about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So investors ask the pitchers, okay, what is the total market size of your market, right? So they never say, okay, there are like 1 million people or 10 million people
Yeah.
in my market. They never say. It's not a number, okay? It's a currency. They say it's a 1,000 crore market. Or it's a $100 billion market. It's a $100 million market,
Right.
right? They measure the market in terms of currency.
Currency. Yeah. The actual
Right.
value.
Exactly,
That they can
the
generate.
value of the market,
Right.
right? And this is because how many people you sell to, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
The number of people you sell to, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But how much money you can retrieve from the market matters the most.
Yeah. At the end, like, this is the core truth of doing any business, right? Business
any
in
business.
a nutshell, it's just for profit.
Exactly.
So every KPI, the biggest KPI should be just profit or revenue, like the money
Yes.
that you're making.
Money is the biggest KPI,
Yeah.
right? It showcases how big of a percentage of market you can capture, and it also defines how much you can scale, right? Because I can tell you how many people come to me and they're like, okay, hey, I received a few sales
Yeah.
in the first few months, but for some reason I'm just not able to scale further.
Is it for like the digital product or?
For digital. So I specifically specialize in the digital market only.
Right.
Even he.
No, I mean like the low ticket digital products or the high ticket one as well. Like the question that you get. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. So I'll say in both.
Okay.
Because the core fundamental remains the same.
Hmm.
You're selling less products.
Yeah.
And you're completely dependent on getting new clients and new customers every day.
Right.
Which is not the way to scale a business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like we said, your market, the size of market is defined by the money that is existing in your market. Right? So if you want to grow your business, it's not about acquiring more and more clients or more and more customers. It's about acquiring more and more money from the market.
Yeah.
And finding out ways to get more and more money from the market out, you know. And that is how you scale your business as well. Not by acquiring more people, but by selling more and more to the same people that you have already acquired.
Yeah. I think that's like the idea, the core idea behind why people run after creating multiple products for their ecosystem. And once they get that idea by listening to this kind of videos, they get stuck.
Yeah.
While they actually, sit down and think about creating those products. And that's like we discussed about the actual, abstract ideology behind that and why do we do that. And like I want to touch one more topic about this before we move on to the next, or actually go back to the previous topic about discussing the offer components and creating those multiple products. So I wanted to talk about this, which is extracting more value from every customer that you get. So if you want to visualize yourself, what Nihar is saying, it's more like you are on a cycle and you are driving that pedal, and once you stop that pedal, the cycle stops, right? So imagine the cycle is your business and you putting that force into that pedal is your daily efforts of your marketing and sales, right? And you selling that one product itself, provided if you just have one product. But what Nihar is saying is create that kind of a cycle. If you just do one rotation of that cycle, you get compounded returns. And at least even if you stop rotating your pedal, it's the cycle is still rotating for 2-3 more times, right?
Yeah.
So it has some like potential stored in.
Yeah.
And that potential is getting converted through this way of retaining the clients, right? By having some sort of cross sells or some retention models where there's like a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell me more about that particular idea. Like how do we extract more?
Yeah, I think the number one resource for this particular concept or this particular idea is 100 Million Money Models by Alex Hormozi. It's a very small book, very concise, very straightforward, but it discusses all the sort of top money models in detail.
Right.
And how to structure them as well. So I think that's better to refer to as a source to learn this. But the whole point is, even if you do not learn it from someone, or even if you do not know the formula, like there's no crazy formula at the end on how to structure these money models.
Right.
But the whole point is how to keep your current clients and customers keep paying you more and more.
That's the fundamental question. The first.
That's the fundamental question. Yeah, that's the first principle here, right?
Yeah.
And you can be as creative as possible, because even if you refer to the money models book, you'll get maybe 5 to 10 new ways of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end, you will have to find out what works for you. Like we discussed earlier, it's still a piece of information.
Let me give a rapid fire thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's test this out.
Yeah.
I am a gardener. Very random example.
Yeah.
I'm a gardener.
Yeah.
And I garden 2 houses per week.
Yeah.
How can I implement this particular idea that you just gave?
Yeah. So how do you charge?
I charge when I go to that particular house and I talk to that member. First of all, I'm getting these clients through word of mouth itself.
Yeah. How much do you charge?
So I charge around 8,000 rupees per month.
It's good. It's like around $100 per month.
Yeah.
Right? And how many services do you provide per month?
2 per week. So 8 per month.
Oh, okay. I think, first of all, you're undervaluing yourself.
Right.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second, what kind of services are included exactly when it comes to bringing in that change?
Right. So let's talk about it. So if I'm, in a hypothetical situation, I'm a gardener. And in this scenario, what you are asking
The
is-
rapid fire just turned around. I'm asking you questions now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But for that, like you are being a good consultant by just asking a lot of questions and gathering the data from the person who is, asking the main question. What you asked was about
What kind of services? Like, what are the steps involved to bring in that total change?
total change, right?
Yeah.
So let's define that change for my
Tell me,
client
what
and
is the change?
customer.
Yeah.
The garden looks good, and as a benefit of that, their guests are impressed by them,
Yep.
and maybe their like significant other is also impressed by them because they hired me to do that.
And maybe they feel good, and if they're a business person, maybe
They feel calm.
they're more creative.
Correct.
Right? That's the
Correct.
big change.
Yes.
Now, what are the steps involved in order to bring in that change for you?
Yes. So basically, the steps that I take to get that
the
change.
steps
to
that
them.
you take as the gardener.
Got it. So I visit that place. I book an appointment from them that they are available or not available depending on the work, and I go there for 3 hours, pick out the weeds, and get my tools in, and start with like the smallest plants. Then trim out the big level plants, and then have like a map on how to make it more beautiful. And it's like a customized map for every client because every client has a different garden, different layout.
Correct.
So I map out that plan for their layout, and I get that change done in a matter of 3 hours.
Now, there's a concept that I call as phantom offers or phantom products. Okay. See, everybody in the market, like in your market, let's say, every gardener out there, they're trying to sell this exact same service, which is, okay, we will do this, and they try to charge the final amount for the final product, right? What people don't understand is that currently they might not be thinking about, okay, I need a gardener who can do everything for me, right? There are some phantom problems in the way. They're not just directly thinking about solving the big problem. They might be thinking about, okay, the last gardener or last landscaper who did a terrible job. Okay, they had a good plan, apparently, but they did a terrible job. They maybe created a design that does not suit their house, or their villa. So the phantom problem here is, how can I know you have the right plan for me? That's a phantom problem that your client has right now. Okay, this might be a bit advanced right now, but try to think from a client's perspective who needs a gardener, right? They are already being betrayed, I would say, or they have already lost trust in hiring a gardener, right?
Correct.
So they might not be looking to just get a gardener and pay a hefty price, considering $100 is a hefty price right now. But the phantom problem here could be, I need a good plan for myself first that I feel confident about.
The client becomes educated and confident enough so that they can hire a gardener.
Exactly.
Got it.
And now the problem here is, most people try to pitch the big product, the big solution, when they're not even addressing these phantom problems. Now, always remember, the final transaction never happens without addressing these phantom problems first. And if you are not the person who is addressing these phantom problems for them, they'll still do their research by going to the internet, going to YouTube. Right. And they'll prefer the person
who gives more information at that point.
They'll prefer the person who solves those phantom problems for them. Even if for free. The point here is not to sell more. The point here is how to bridge that gap for your customers, for your clients, right?
So even though that's like a phantom thing, it's still very real and relevant.
It is a real problem, and you can charge for it. And I'll highly suggest, do not, it definitely gives you an idea about, okay, why do people keep on saying post more on YouTube and create blogs? And, even 20 years ago, people were like, okay, focus on SEO. This is the fundamental reason behind it, right? The free content that you post online, right? The articles that you post, the YouTube videos that you create, all of these are to solve those phantom problems and lead your clients and customers towards the big solution that you have.
Correct.
Now, the big idea that I have for my clients is that, okay, you can charge to solve even those phantom problems.
Got it.
Right? You can keep on charging for these phantom problems. Now let's come back to the Apple example that we
No,
had.
the first gardening.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the
Let's
gardener
complete
example,
my
right?
gardening.
Now
I want
let's
to make
say
more money.
instead of charging the $100
Yeah.
for the final service,
Yeah.
let's say you just charge like $10 or $20 just to give them a good plan,
Yeah.
a custom plan.
And should I do it this online or offline, going with flyers and everything?
It depends. You can start offline, and maybe if you find ways to do that online, you can do that for scalability, like we
Right.
discussed earlier,
Right.
because it's just a $10 or $20 product.
Correct.
But you can actually charge, and people are willing to pay you because now you are providing them a custom plan before them making a big commitment.
Which is to hire me as a gardener.
Exactly.
Got it.
Right?
Now I
Because-
got my answer.
Exactly. Because and you see, biggest friction point is not always money.
Correct.
It's trust. You know.
Yeah.
Should I trust you now?
Yeah.
Should I trust this new gardener when I have already been
Betrayed.
So betrayed. I'm not getting a good word for this, honestly, but I've already
Good service.
I didn't get a good service already, right? So
Yeah.
should I trust you now? So that's the biggest friction point.
Yeah.
And that's why people don't want to commit. Let's say you're charging $10 for this final service,
Yeah.
right? It would still be difficult for you to sell that as compared to if you're charging the $10 just to give them a custom plan.
Correct.
Now, did you understand?
Yeah, it was never
Because
about
now
the money.
it was never about the money, because even if you charge like $10 or $20 to get everything done, right? They don't know whether you will do a good job or not. So they don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
They don't want to risk their time. And this is true when it comes to the digital products as well. You know, for my program, for which people are paying me $2,000, you know, I can charge like $20 tomorrow. Start charging $20 tomorrow, but my sales will probably go down.
Yeah. And not up.
And not up, you know. I'm just trying to keep these example extremely like sort of extreme for you to understand, but there are multiple variables involved here. But the point is, money is not the direct factor which is involved in whether your sales go up or go down.
Right.
It's the gap, how effectively you can bridge that gap for them, how effectively can you generate that trust. And honestly, if you actually learn how to bridge this gap for them, you can charge extremely high for the backend, because now they trust you. And like you rightly said, it's never about the money. So if they trust you, if they like you, if they know, if they believe that the product that you have is going to bring in that change that you promise, they're gonna sell their home to work with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense. That's good, man. So we understood as a gardener, what can you do to increase your sales, make more money, just have something to solve that phantom problem and scale that shit up so that you can get more sales of the actual transformation that you're providing. And if you're smart enough, you can apply whatever we have shared about for the gardening example with whatever you are selling, literally whatever you are selling. Doesn't matter if it's a service, if it's a product, e-commerce, gardening, whatever that be, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we got to understand that aspect, and we wanted to, I wanted to talk about the offer components, right?
Yeah.
Your ideology about that, and how do you design? Basically, and keep it very simple. Just have two offers, let's say. Somebody who's just starting in their online business journey.
Yeah.
How should they think about just having two offers in one place?
So it's very simple, honestly. Right? So the current stage that you are in right now, and the desired stage that you want to go in, and the steps involved in order to bridge that gap. Okay, and you just take all these individual steps, turn it into offer components, and present it in front of them in the form of an offer. One very important thing that we need to be careful about is that you can keep on creating micro level steps, thinking that it will give them more and more clarity, but it doesn't work. The more steps you add, the more components you add inside the offer, the higher the resistance. Okay, so there's a sweet spot basically. Okay, more is good, but just to a certain level. After that, it's diminishing returns, and the more you try to stuff into the offer, the more resistance you create. Because now, think about what's happening subconsciously in their mind.
Right.
The more and more things you give them, the more and more they start thinking about, I would have to do this as well. I would have to take care of this as well. Right. This might take more time. And you're sort of increasing the surface area for them to create an objection in their mind
Correct.
to present an objection in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So I always say, so an offer is to clear objections. So every offer component should be designed to clear an objection, not to create a new objection.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like
Right.
whenever you are thinking about adding something, it's not as if like you are, continuously adding things, because
Yeah.
sometimes adding also creates more problems
Exactly.
rather than not adding.
So you never start from an offer itself, from blank, but you start from objections, the existing objections, and you work your way back from there to
Yeah.
create your offer, right? Because if you start from creating the offer from scratch, there's a high chance you might end up creating new objections,
Yeah.
which doesn't even exist, and it will make the sale harder for you.
Yeah. We generally have like two ways of thinking about creating a product or an offer, right? Either we start with there are not two ways, but just one way, like whenever anybody is thinking.
Yeah.
And that comes from our discussion of solving problems.
Yeah.
Right. So naturally anybody would be just trying to create an offer based on the problems that they are solving.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now what I am understanding from you is not really start from problems, but also understand what are their objections and how can your next offer component that you're adding
Yeah.
not adding to the objections of them to buy.
See, problems is something that as an entrepreneur we define.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the problems. Objections is something that your client tells you, or your customer tells you, or your prospect tells you,
Correct.
right?
Or does not
Because-
tell you
Or
sometimes.
does not tell you something.
Yeah.
But that's the silent conversation that's going on in their
in their
mind.
minds. Correct.
And you have to find out the objections, not the problem, right?
Got
Because those are the most accurate ones, right? So the moment you present something, the moment you present an offer in front of your clients or in front of your prospects, list down all the objections that you get, and those are the real things that they're thinking about.
And by the way, like these objections, what I understand what he's talking about, these are not your, run of the mill objections like, I need more money, I don't have money.
Exactly.
Not talking to my,
Exactly.
I have to talk to my wife, or I don't have time. Definitely time can be one component, right? So
Yeah.
if I want to explain more of what he is saying, probably let's say for a fitness example, let's say somebody is selling some sort of fitness information or a transformation product. The objection that the client can give this fitness person can be, how can I manage as a busy entrepreneur with my steps, with my calories, with my everything? How can I manage a fit lifestyle with my travel plans, my walking steps, goals, and my six-pack app goals?
Yeah.
So he might throw an objection is, I cannot manage my time, because the moment an entrepreneur, if you're watching this, an entrepreneur gets a free time, they have this guilt, like I need to work more. So if they are planning, an entrepreneur is planning something for their fitness, they might feel guilty. So maybe that fitness person can have something in their offer as a component to remove that guilt of that person, of that entrepreneur, to work towards the fitness.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So can you give like one or two more examples like this for this particular offer, fitness offer, let's say. Fitness offer for an entrepreneur.
I mean, it's something. It's a creative field, It's a creative field. Sort of, you can create n number of different offers for the same, and that's why like people reach out to me and they say, okay, how can I make my offer unique, bro? It's the easiest thing. You just have to open your mind. It's like, okay, discover what are the specific objections that they're giving you. So it could be very specific, by the way. Okay, I'll tell you one example from real life experience. There's one person, one of my friends, and his core constraint when it comes to going to the gym or going for his fitness or focusing or dedicating time for his fitness, his core constraint is that he does not have any time at all to work out in the afternoons and in the mornings. The only time that he gets is in the evening from 7 to 8. Now you can address this constraint or this objection. And by the way, if you try to pitch the best offer or the best product in this world to this person, he will never buy, because his constraint is very different
Yeah.
than the offer,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to address this specific constraint for this specific type of person, you can create an offer which revolves around, okay, how can you maximize your gym output or your or the output from your workouts at night.
Right.
An offer which is specifically designed to give you maximum output for a human body that works out in the evening, in at night, you know, when the metabolism maybe is slow, when the body is tired. So a workout routine which is specifically designed for this particular entrepreneur, right? And this is how you open up the world for n number of possibilities. So you decide your group of people that you're gonna work with,
Right.
or the
who.
group of people, the group of people or the subset of the market that you want to help. And then they would have some different set of obstacles or objections
Yeah.
that they're facing every single day. And then you can design a very creative, very unique offer just for these specific type of people.
Yeah.
And you would easily be able to stand out in the market.
That's very true. That's very true. I have this ideology, like my process and for my clients is basically the who and what.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the sub-segment of the market that you want to work with, as Nia said, and what is the problem that you're solving for them, right? So when you combine this who and what, and you try to not use ChatGPT, but use ChatGPT for like creative purposes, not really for answering that thing. When you have the who plus what, and you use your brain, sit down with focus music, no distractions. When you actually sit down, you would understand what offer component to create.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just have to like be distraction free and literally have that time slot for that particular thing, thinking.
Yes.
Because people don't think nowadays.
Yes. People don't think.
That's a big problem.
Right. One very important aspect that I want to talk about is what I call the North Star. Because when we're creating an offer, we are already assuming that the desire already exists in the market. Because if there is no desire, you cannot create a business out of it.
Yeah.
Okay? And you cannot create a new desire from scratch.
Eugene Schwartz says that, right?
Eugene Schwartz says that.
Correct.
Right? You can create a mass desire, of course, but the problem is it will take a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and maybe your lifetime would not be enough to create that mass desire. So that's not a good bet. That's not what smart people do. Smart people tap into the existing mass desire. But now, even when a person has a desire to get fit, in the fitness example, let's say,
Right.
if a person has the desire to get fit, we still have to give them a North Star. Now, what exactly is the North Star? A North Star is something, as the name suggests, a North Star is something that gives them direction.
Yeah.
Right? Because even if they have the desire, the driving force to keep on trying new things, they still lack direction. Okay?
Correct.
And it's almost like giving someone a map and expecting that, okay, they'll start
Walk the path.
They'll walk the path, that's shown in the map, without even us telling them that, okay, there's a treasure at all.
Correct.
Right? So the treasure is the North Star.
Right.
Right? So we have to tell them that, okay, you have to go towards this direction.
Right. Is it
Right?
like similar to a dream result that we are giving them? Or
The
what?
dream result, they subconsciously have an idea of what they want
Right.
when it comes to the dream result, but they hardly can feel or visualize how it would look like when they'll finally achieve that. Understand, you have to internally sort of become that first,
Right.
before achieving it or turning it into reality. You have to internalize that first. And your prospects cannot do that by themselves.
Right.
So you have to do that for them. And that becomes your North Star. And you usually do that, and which is the strongest way to do that, is story. Yeah. And that's why all these OGs and all these people keep on saying, focus on your storytelling skills. This is the reason why movies move you.
Yeah.
That's why they are called movies, because they have the tendency, they have the power to move you.
Right.
right? Through storytelling, because that's the strongest skill that you can have in this day and age. So, coming back to the idea of creating an offer, you actually start with a story of production. How did you create this product?
Yeah.
A story of process. How does this product work? A story of performance. How is it getting results already? A story of proof, a story of production, and a story of performance. And if you just add this, the flavor of storytelling throughout this process, you would become unstoppable. Your product will become unstoppable. Your
Yeah.
offer will become, as they say, irresistible.
Yeah. And I think that's how some people, just with their voice, with their mouth, are able to create a lot of income from thin air
Yeah.
through storytelling, to helping other people believe in the vision that they have set for themselves and
Yes.
for that client. Even when the client is not able to understand actually
Yeah.
what does that look like. It's our job as entrepreneurs to help them believe, hey, this is possible.
Yeah.
And we do that with offers, and we do that
Yes.
with storytelling. That's
Yes.
it, right?
Yes. So I always keep on saying that you have to become an artist. You don't think business from just numbers perspective or just scientific perspective, or just e-commerce or commerce perspective, but you have to actually become an artist, and storytelling is that hidden skill that people lack. Everybody keeps on focusing on formulas and frameworks and templates that they got from someone else.
Yeah.
Understand, if you are using someone else's framework on someone else's formula to create something, you'll end up becoming them,
Yeah.
and you would lose your own originality. So the storytelling aspect is something that brings your originality
Yeah.
into the offer.
Yeah. It's the soul that lacks when you just copy somebody else's framework.
It's what makes you authentic, and it's what makes you irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Irreplaceable, right? This is how you'll start. You won't even have to think about competition after this.
Yeah.
The moment you learn how to be authentic when it comes to creating offers, you'll even stop worrying about the competition.
All right, man. That's really amazing.
That was a productive conversation.
So if we can wrap up this whole conversation in a single line, what would be that for you?
So one single line.
Yeah.
I would say change, first of all. So define that change that you're going to bring for someone. Okay. And then define your authenticity in bringing in that change.
Awesome. Amazing. The thing that I can say from this session is it's really important for you to collect information from other people, but at the same time, sometimes ignore all of that information and just sit by yourself and
Yeah.
let the dots connect by yourself, right? From the traditional knowledge that you have with some other weird ideas that you have. Because
Yeah.
when you combine the weird ideas with the traditional stuff, then you create something new and then you can charge something for it.
Yeah.
That's how you make
It's
more money.
crazy how this conversation turned towards. I mean, I'm thinking from a viewer's perspective, they must have clicked on this video thinking about, okay, they'll get some crazy value or some crazy frameworks or formulas, and then suddenly the conversation is steered towards authenticity or creativity or storytelling, all that boring cliched stuff. But again, that's what actually matters, right?
That's what matters. That's what make money.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll wrap up this session.
Let's go. Thank you so
And
much for being with us.
We'll see you in the next one.